Good to see you, Ronnie. So our word for today is compete. Compete. And Madeline, where's Madeline at? I got to make sure Madeline. Okay. She's out walking. I see her. We see you, Madeline. Listen, I love this word. Why? Because I need it. I need it. I need to remember it and take action in a contest. Like take action for something. That's what the definition says. I'm going to get right into it. I loved a couple of things that I looked at. Number one, think about this. A flower does not think about competing to the flower next to it. It just blooms. You know, we can gain a lot from just looking at the nature that God put into motion. And I think about my life and wow, how many times I just did it this week. Do I look at the flower next to me and judge my success or judge my failure or judge what's going on rather than just go bloom, Brent? And here's the deal. The best part of competing is really truly through it, we discover what we're capable of. How many times have you done something to where you've really done more than you thought ever possible? I'll tell you one of mine. You might laugh. It was graduating college. Really, mine was graduating high school, first of all. And then it was graduating college. I had to admit, I was a C student at best in high school. Now, I got a little better in college after about 2 years. But I'll be honest, there was a side of me that really didn't ever see myself for a long time graduating. And so I really like competing. I discovered that I was able to do something that I truly didn't think that it was possible. And I got thinking, man, when we talk about competing, here's where I'm going to go with it. If I lived my life, whether it was in my health, whether it was in a weight loss journey, whether it was in my relationships, whether it was in my profession, if I lived my life firing up the engine within, you know, I mean, good gracious, what could I accomplish rather than getting caught up in all this other stuff? If I just fired up my engine, and so as I got to thinking, I thought, you know what? If I just let's go to our job, okay? Let's think about our job. If I woke up every morning firing up my engine within and go, Brent, how much? If I was paying you this week, how much would I pay you for the effort you're putting in? Hey, Brent, what kind of plan have you got for today? Coach Myra, as we coach football, you know, teams, different sports, we wouldn't have walked to practice without a practice schedule. Like I got to have a plan for what I'm doing when my feet hit the floor. And a lot of times competing within internally is really employing ourselves, if you think about it. And so I moved to this. I'm going to share it really quick. But why should I compete with myself? Why is it so strong, like the flower that just blooms rather than worrying about the flower beside it? Number one, I have a much healthier measure of my success when I compete with myself. Number two, I get a better sense of what I'm capable of. Like I'm always at better ease with myself. I've got a better measure of my success when I compete with myself. I get a better sense of what I'm capable of when I compete with myself. Number three, I get to define my own success, right? Man, I love when I get internally to compete with myself because Ronnie's measure of success and my measure of success might be different, right? So let's just focus on me and where I want to go. Number 4, I become a much freer person of other people's judgments when I'm out running my own race. And then the last one, I will never rest on my laurels. I believe this. When I became a head football coach and I started competing with myself to be the best head football coach, I would never rest on my laurels when I was in that mindset. I continued, striving to work harder and not relying on my past success, because internally that engine was fired up and moving, and I just challenge us all, I guess, today to really internally focus in on ourselves. And I had to snap myself in gear all the time, Coach, not to judge other people's plates while mine's getting cold, right? I do it all the time. And this was a great lesson. Madeline, thank you for the word compete. And Coach, I'll turn it to you.
Yes, thank you, Madeline. And this has kind of been a fun word. And Brent, great message. I'll be honest with you. This word has stepped all over my toes. Like today, having an event at my house tonight. So, man, I'm getting after it today. I'm getting after it. I got my list I got to do. So I'm competing with me. So, let me ask everybody on the call this morning on the Zoom or on the live. Do you work hard or do you compete? Think about that. Do you work hard or do you compete? As Brent said, Madeline gave us the word for today. And if you know anything about Madeline, I think you probably have all understood she's a huge Tennessee Lady Vol fan. So because Madeline is this huge Lady Vol fan, I wanted to share something that Kara Lawson, one of the greatest Lady Vols has ever played. She's now the head coach at Duke University. I thought she did a phenomenal job on what she told her team just recently. She said, she asked them, she said, I need to know if you work hard, do you think you work hard or do you compete? And how she put it out there, I thought was just magical. She said, look, there are billions of people that work hard every single day. Billions. We work hard. But if I'm working hard individually and I am then having Val come up next to me and whatever the task is I'm working, do you not think that my compete juices get going then? It's just natural. When someone is with us, when we're working hard and they're beside us working hard, it's human nature. What do we start doing? We want to compete. We want to compete. The biggest difference in the two, and again, this is my opinion, the biggest difference is the mindset. You have to go to another level if you're a hard worker, but if you want to get into the compete mode. It's the mindset. There's 2 types of competition. There's healthy, and then there's rivalry. The healthy type, and I found an unbelievable example. Some of you may know who Kanye West is or who Drake is. They've been pretty successful musicians and entertainers in their life. And Kanye was interviewed, and I know lately he's kind of, it's been a little bit out there, but the interview they did with him was phenomenal. He said, who helps him be a great competitor? And he said, Drake. He said, here I worked hard. I had all these hits that were stacking up and piling up. And what did I do? I just sat back and got fat, leaning on my laurels. I had all this set because I worked hard. But then he said, I look at Drake as a sparring partner in a ring, because all he does is go out there and sets records. He gets as many hits and goes and bypasses Paul McCartney. So now he said, hey, I got to get up out of here and go start working on these lyrics. So that is a healthy competition. It helped him get better. Now the rivalry, this can turn into a cancer. I mean, and you know, unfortunately with cancer, what happens normally is when you get cancer, it just spreads all throughout your body, and then you have all kinds of a negative effects. So the rivalry thing, it just kind of gets unhealthy. And I know Brent and I talk a lot about in sports and athletics. I can think of when we had teams that we played that we really had great competition, but then there were some rivalries. And I'll be honest with you, they were nasty. It just got nasty. So know the difference. You know, we all need someone. We all need someone to kick our butt occasionally. Wouldn't you agree? We all need that. I mean, that's just what we need. And as a team, we should focus on how we compete within our own team, not against some other teams out there. This is how we'll get better as a whole. I think sometimes we're guilty of, like Coach said, looking and watching and seeing what other people are doing, whereas we're going to grow and become huge if we will focus upon what's within our team and our nucleus. If we took how many we got today, Coach? 63. If we took all 63 of our Coach's Corner family today, and we focused only upon what we wanted to compete against one another to get better at, my gosh, think of what we could accomplish. Instead of looking at another group and looking what they're doing and trying to compete with them, let's compete within. You know, if we compete within our team, we'll start seeing growth at some point. It may not happen immediately. We know that. You may not see it, but it's coming. It will take time, but the healthy competition within will always rise up and bypass other teams. Again, it's just time, patience, connections. Of course, the key to us getting to the top is competing and pushing each other to be the best that we can be. Now, instead of me, just kind of visualize this. Instead of saying me versus you, think about this. You got a kind of imaginary whiteboard. Got the word me versus you. It should say me with you. My contest is going to always need to be against myself, and your contest should always be against yourself, because this will help us become tremendous competitors. And y'all, when you work together within your team and you keep competing, guess what? Sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. I know I got to do a better job. I do know that. So I encourage you to compete within yourself every day to try to get better. Quit worrying about what everybody else is doing. Let's focus upon what's our groups, our team, and it starts with us. All right. Love y'all. Awesome day. Thank you so much.
Powerful, Coach. As I butt my chin strap, I'm ready to go out. Let's go. All right. Happy Thursday, everybody. We love you. We're grateful for you. We'll see you back tomorrow. Let's rock and roll.
Bye, guys. Love y'all.
Hey, Phil Saley.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Amazing.
Right by
Thank
the
you.
house tonight.
Thank you.
Great
You
meeting.
guys